Welcome back to Real Estate Radio San Antonio with Karla and Stan, and we're here with our guest, Richard Ramos of Green Energy of San Antonio.
Richard, I just love your passion. I love, that you believed in something. And, you have just done an incredible job, and to grow your company to 35. And, most everybody knows Richard. You'll see him on TV on the commercials. And so he's quite the star.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're too kind.
No, it's true.
I don't know if it's you that I enjoy watching or your mother.
I told you, lady, she can't go to the Home Depot or the Lowe's or the grocery store without, hey, you're the I told you lady.
And it all takes us back in time when our mothers have said, I told you so, I told you so. Or sometimes your wife.
No, not in this household. Absolutely not.
I never heard that from
I never have either.
So anyway, let's talk about green. Let's talk a little more about green energy. So tell us, so when a customer calls, tell us what happens during that process. What generally is a customer looking for when they call Green Energy, and what kind of information are they looking for?
Well, two things have happened, Karla, when a customer finally picks up the phone and calls or fills out a contact form online, is they're really, really frustrated with the heat issues in the severe summers that we have here, as you well know. Living 3 miles from the sun really has some adverse effects here in Central Texas. The other issue is they just get tired of that energy bill constantly, month in, month out, going through the roof. Of course, October, November, we get a little stay of execution. It's nice. It's in the 80s, so it's kind of, it's tolerable. But our product also works in the wintertime. When it gets very, very, very cold in your home, people pick up the phone and they need more insulation. Well, traditionally, they've been calling for the pink stuff. Well, what my passion for the barrier is because...
What's the pink stuff?
The insulation.
Oh,
the
okay.
Pink Panther stuff.
Pink Panther.
I don't know if we could say that legally, but we have said it too bad. So, is that people order more insulation, and like I said earlier, buying more insulation in the wintertime or the summertime to protect your home and the environment in your attic and ultimately your home is like taking a knife to a gunfight. It's your intention's right, but it's just not going to work. The technology that's available in the Green Energy Radiant Barrier is that it works in the summer by reflecting all of the radiant heat. 95% of the radiant heat is reflected back out. So what that translates, if I was to be in your home and it's unprotected in the middle of July, the temperature in your attic is 165 to 169 degrees. And you're trying to keep and just 9 feet away, you're trying to keep it 70 something. And it's just insane that you have all that heat and that pressure. Now, what the barrier does is we put this right below the trusses, right below the roof decking, and it doesn't allow the heat to build up. What a concept. So when we're done with the treatment, with the ventilation systems that we put in, because it's ventilation and insulation, is when we're done, if it's 102 outside, your attic's going to be 106.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So we're almost going to make it ambient temperature. Now, in the wintertime, because it's double-sided, the heat that you manufacture goes through the insulation, and when it hits the barrier, reflects the heat back into your home. I don't if you remember, we had a little bit of ice. This past winter was a very severe winter for us. Well, if you look at all my neighbors' houses that aren't protected, when we had the ice had all melted. The ice was still in my home because my heater didn't melt.
Didn't melt the roof,
Yes.
the ice on the roof.
That's right. So what it does, the reason I'm so passionate about the Green Energy Radiant Barrier is it works every single day.
Yeah.
And people ask me, is it really going to make a difference? And I'm just going to tell you what my customers have told me.
Right.
I feel we've moved our home to Montana in the summer. I don't feel like we live in Texas anymore. So that's a big deal.
That's huge.
I've had homeowners that told me, you know what, it lowered our energy bill 10%. It lowered it 20%. I've had some, and we don't market this or advertise it because it just sounds too good to be true. I've had and friends of mine who've ordered the product. Of course, when you sell a friend, it's and they said, Richard, you lied to me. It didn't save me 30%. it lowered our energy bill in half. I don't know how we did that. So I don't make any claims
Right.
like that. I don't know how we did that, but it's truly making a difference. And in the long term, it's going to affect the carbon footprint. It's going to affect, we're selling almost 1 million feet a year.
Wow.
2,500 feet at a time. So we do a lot of homes in Central Texas here.
Yeah, you do.
So, and it's truly making a difference.
You talked about a ventilation. So you not only put in the radiant barrier insulation, but there's ventilation that you add?
Yes, the soffits in your home, that's the intake. And we have 2 ventilation systems that we offer the homeowners, is that depending on the pitch of your roof, we can add a ridge vent. Those are very, very popular. The air comes in through the soffit and it escapes. And we also have solar attic fans that release the heat at a much faster rate. With the ridge vent, we have to depend on nature to release the hot air. And with the Solar Star ventilation, it just sucks it out instant. It just goes on and the hot air is out.
So is the energy savings different from just the vent or the solar?
It's a combination of both. And beware of any company who knocks on your door and says, we've got this high-powered insulation and we want to lay it on your existing insulation, run the other way. If they offered it to you free, tell them you need to think about it.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
We had another gentleman, Bob Spermo, on here, and he was talking about that happens in many cases. People go in and put all this insulation in there. That's all they do, and it hasn't helped them a bit. They create mold. They create all kinds of things without the ventilation.
That's right. The house has to breathe.
Yeah.
It has to breathe. It's a living organism, and it must breathe. So you can't make it airtight.
No.
So we have a procedure and systems in place to make sure that it's well ventilated and then, of course, protected from the environment.
Well, I'm glad that we've confirmed what Bob said.
Yes.
I'll have to tell him. We've confirmed what you said. So I think that's a great thing. And so if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 9:30 a.m. The Answer. It's Real Estate Radio San Antonio. And you can contact us at realestateradiosa.com. We're speaking with Richard Ramos of Green Energy of San Antonio. And we're talking about insulation and ventilation in your attic, and how important both is hand in hand. So just in finishing our conversation on that, is there one is better than the other? If you just do the one vent along the side, would you call that the ventilation rather than the solar?
The solar. Let me liken it to. So let me give you a visual.
Okay.
I have a sink at your home, right? And I fill both sides of the sink to the top. And I take the drain, the stopper, and I take it, and we have to wait on nature so the water drains out. On the other one, I just turn the dishwasher on. The garbage disposal, what happens to the water? Just immediately.
It's gone.
That's what the solar attic fan does. Where with the ridge vent, we have to depend. The heat has to build up in order for it to rise and then escape. They work very well.
Yes.
They're passive.
Right.
Where the solar attic fan is aggressive.
Aggressive.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
I like the aggressive one.
I kind of like a passive aggressive.
Okay, so
well, going back, in our attic, I know, Richard, when I get up there, I could cook popcorn up there.
Yes, sir.
In the summertime. I mean, it's
Green Energy of San Antonio.
Yeah, I need something up there, but we have a very large attic in our house. We have a single story home, and our attic is probably, it's very large. I mean, our water heaters are up there. Air conditioning, of course, everything's up there, but it's probably 10 feet. But it has the pink stuff.
Yes, sir.
On the bottom, and nothing on the top.
Yeah.
It's the way it's set up, and all of my air conditioning ducts run through there.
That's right, and it's. I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I know you're going 100 miles an hour. Yeah,
it's kind of like you have those air ducts. The AC guys try to manufacture at the power plant at 48 degrees. They try to get it to the registers at 68 degrees, or 58 to 68 degrees to the registers, and it's going to be scattered throughout. It's like putting ice cream in your oven before you enjoy it. And that's exactly what's happening in an attic that's unprotected. Is people pay their hard-earned HEB grocery spending dollars to keep themselves comfortable in the severe summers that we have here. But meanwhile, you're pushing that cold air through that hot air. It's like it's putting the ice cream in your oven before you eat it. It's crazy. And
I mean, when you think about that concept, I don't know why all of us don't have green energy, green home energy in our home.
So it's called a radiant barrier, right?
Right.
I'd like to know a little bit about it because, I mean, we always hear it, and it's kind of one of those things that's good, and we've talked a little bit about it, but are there different types of radiant barriers?
yes,
Is it just one type? I mean, you have,
there's many types.
Okay.
And this is I really appreciate you having me out to give me a platform to warn the consumer here in Central Texas that please do your homework. Find out that it's a reputable product. Right now, the Chinese and the Indians from South Asia have copied radiant barriers, and they're selling these, and they're just falling apart after 18 months in an attic. And people spend their hard-earned dollars, and they're just getting taken. And I'm just trying to warn everybody that make sure it's made in the USA. Make sure that it's a product that we can stand behind and it's going to work for years to come.
We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to be back with Richard Ramos from Green Energy of San Antonio, and this is the Real Estate Radio with Karla and Stan at 9:30 a.m. The Answer.